do you see rising cost of materials affecting the renovation process and end projection? Yes, I do, and it has dramatically. Has it changed what we're doing? Not really. Okay, so to give you an example, in Perth, from October to about 2 weeks ago when I spoke to the building and contractors and relationships over there, they said on the average renovation or build, material costs and trade costs have gone up 18 to 22%. All right, that's in 6 months, even less than 6 months, and that was 18 to 20% more than the October before. Right, so you've had trade and material costs going up like this. It has squeezed margin through renovation processes. Right, 2 years ago we would target properties that had a 2.5 to 3 times multiple on a renovation spend. You put a kitchen in for 15,000, you're expecting it to add. Or you put a kitchen in for 10,000, right, or 9,000 or 8,000, you're expecting it to add $25,000 to $30,000. Now you're putting a kitchen in for 15,000, 16,000, you're still expecting it to put on the $25,000 to $30,000. That's how it's impacting and fundamentally changing investment, all right? But it's also creating opportunity, all right? It still is creating opportunity. If you can do renovations, if you can find someone to do that work, then you are far ahead of the majority. A common conversation if you pick up the phone with a builder, can you come and do this work? It's like, no, I've got a lineup of jobs to do for the next 12 months. One thing that we have and pride ourselves on is relationships so we can get jobs done. All right. And that's really important. That allows you to refinance and to do. And if you can, you're far ahead of the pack because you've now got a good quality renovated property in a market. That's what people are demanding. And you have that really strong rental demand. New builds, it's written off. You can't touch it. 2.5 years ago, 1s into 2s, that was a very common and profitable strategy that we would employ. It just doesn't have any margin in it now. And that's two-pronged. Obviously, you've got material and trade costs going through the roof, but you've also had building grants. So you've had, small builders buying blocks, subdividing, and then selling the land as a house and land package to first home builders. And then they get the job, they get the work, and they are falling over themselves to buy these development blocks, and they've squeezed margins all the way up. And there's nothing left, right? They're essentially deriving a wage from it without any profit. And you can't compete against that as an investor. You have a different cost base. So I definitely do see it impacting the industry overall, but it does create opportunity. We have to cost control. And the main thing for us is if we're going into an area, we assess the cost of a renovation and we try and hold that for a period of acquisition, right? The worst case scenario here, Manuel, is we buy a property today, right? And in 6 or 10 weeks, the material and trade costs have dramatically changed, okay? We've got to be able to pull costs back and hold that line for a 3-month period of acquisition and renovation. When you can do that, it actually, you can do something that is very difficult to do and is not possible in the wider market. And that's, got a lot to do with working with us, to be perfectly frank. But that means you're light years ahead of the other people, that you're the only ones putting in a nice, fresh, renovated property for rent in that market, and you have the ability to charge a premium for that, okay? Refinances, it all eases that process. So, look, it's probably, we've been through the worst. This is my opinion. Seeing it on the ground, we have probably been through the worst. This was a very common question a year ago, right? That was when the crunch occurred. That's when there were sort of mass shortages of materials. It has eased somewhat, and I don't really see it getting much worse in the shorter term. Okay, that's just my opinion. Hopefully that answers your question there, sir.